In order to understand how to maximize your growth over time, we have to look at 2 areas of your growth. The first area are your habits. So these are the things that you're doing every day automatically. And then the second area are the one-time things, the things that you do once and change in your environment, and it influences your habits for the rest of time. And since the one-time changes tend to lead towards better habits, we're gonna focus on the one-time changes in this video. And the principle to understand here is that you always fall to the level of your environment until your identity changes. So what that means is, imagine you're a drug addict and you're trying to get off of drugs and you're trying to get clean, but your entire apartment is full of drugs. There's drugs everywhere. What do you think you're gonna do? You're gonna take the drugs because they're in your environment, so you're gonna fall to that level. Yeah, you could try and use willpower for a couple days. It's not gonna work for very long. You should just get rid of the drugs. It's not just to the extremes. Let's say you're trying to lose weight. So imagine you're trying to eat healthier, but you have an entire pantry full of junk food, a bunch of snacks. What do you think you're gonna do? You're gonna eat the snacks. So the idea here is to be able to figure out what type of one-time changes we could do to make sure that our success is guaranteed. So there are 4 types of environments. There is your physical environment, your digital environment, your social environment, and your mental environment. So the mental environment is the most important, but the first 3 types create the materials that you actually use to create your thoughts. So that's why we're gonna focus on the first 3 environments in this video. The first environment is physical. So this is your desk, your room, your closet, your kitchen, pretty much any place that you spend your time at. And what I'm talking about is it clean? Is there a bunch of dust everywhere? Is there a bunch of dishes all over? Is there just a bunch of dirt? That's the state that your environment is in. But there's also another thing to it. It's also, is your environment conducive to your goals? So let's say you want to get into meditation and you have no place to meditate. It's always noisy. There's a bunch of distractions all over the place. And the one place that you have to meditate is in the corner of your room. But in your room, there's a bunch of technology. There's a phone. There is a TV. There's a bunch of different things. Well, how successful do you think you're going to be at with meditation? And you can take it even a step further. Let's say the only spot you have to meditate is the most uncomfortable spot ever. Well, what are you gonna do? You're probably not gonna be very successful with meditation. So that's the whole point. You have to create an environment that's conducive to your goals. And the simplest way to do it is make sure your environment is clean, but also set up your environment in such a way to where you're basically guaranteed, or at least very likely, to do your habits. And you want to think about every habit that you want to start doing. So for example, when I first started to get into meditation, I basically completely redesigned my room to be optimal for meditation. And that allowed me to be very consistent. Now, the second type of environment is probably the most important for most people, and it's your digital environment. And you basically got to choose with everything that I'm mentioning in this video. You can go to the extreme, or you can just slightly tweak things. You just have to decide how far you want to go depending on your goals. So if you have big goals, you probably want to go to the extreme. But if you don't have such large goals, then you may not want to go to such an extreme. And the type of extreme that I'm talking about here is deleting social media completely. Like actually deleting your account. That's what I did, and I found that was just the best thing that I ever did in my life. I'm not even gonna lie, because deleting social media was so freeing. That's one part of your digital environment. Another part is your phone. So how is your phone set up? Do you have a bunch of apps all over the place that you don't even use? Well, that's distracting. I recommend having nothing on your phone, because just think about it. Our phones were invented as tools. So you don't really need a bunch of garbage all over it. You can just search for what you need. Same thing with if you have apps on your phone that are not conducive to your goals. So if you don't want to be addicted to TikTok, then delete TikTok off of your phone. And then also, where is your technology placed in your life. So I used to have a TV and my computer and my Xbox and my phone all in my room. And then I realized that that's probably not the best thing for me. So I got rid of it all. I got rid of all of my electronics from my room. And another thing is you want to make sure that your computer is set up optimally, similar to how I explained the phone. You want to make sure that it's minimalistic. And the third environment is your social environment. So this is the people that you spend time with. Are these people helping you push you towards your goals, or are they dragging you down? So the most common example is if you don't want to be addicted to drugs, don't spend time with drug addicts. That's basically all we need to say on the topic of social environment. And that's how you guarantee your growth over time. You just have to set up systems to make sure that you're pretty much guaranteed to do certain habits every single day. But earlier I mentioned TikTok, and if you're interested in learning more about TikTok, check out this video, or you can check out that one if you're not.